Hello students, welcome to BioWise with Aanchal. We are already done with the 5 units and this is the last 6th unit, that is pollution. I hope all of you are looking at the PYQs and it is so simple to solve these questions now. Kindly go through each and every video, each and every PYQs and solve the questions. As many questions you solve, you have more confidence to write the paper. So let us proceed with the last unit of this session, 6 days, 6 unit session, the unit 6, pollution. Now pollution is a rising environmental problem and we have to take solid steps to combat with the pollution. You all are aware about the air quality index of New Delhi. You are aware that still in Pune also we have the air quality being disturbed, right? There are many cities in India where the quality of air is deteriorating because of air pollution. So let us begin with the topic pollution. The first important definition that can be asked from this chapter is what is pollution and what is pollutant. So pollution is defined as addition of any component to air, water, soil which deteriorates its natural quality and degrades its quality and makes it unfit for us, right? So addition of any component to air, water, soil which deteriorates the natural quality of the environment is called pollution. And this any component which can deteriorate the natural quality of the environment is called the pollutants. So when you have to classify pollution, there are 5 pollutions that we are going to study for your exams: air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, radiation pollution and noise pollution. So let us begin with air pollution. Air pollution, as you have seen, there are 2 types: gaseous pollution and particulate pollution. Gaseous is the gases like carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, and pollutants are the solid suspended particles like dust, like smoke, ashes. Like in stone drilling and mining, you have small particles, asbestos. So these people have got these particulate matter deposited in their lungs, right? So when you talk about the sources of air pollution, there are 2 sources of air pollution: natural sources and man-made sources. Natural sources like volcano, forest fires, dust storms, these are the natural sources of air pollution which we cannot control. Next are the man-made sources. Now man-made sources of air pollution includes vehicular emissions. Now vehicular emission means what? There is a constant release of carbon dioxide, water vapor, certain kind of impurities like sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide from your vehicles. So if the vehicles, even if it has got lead in the petrol, then the emission from the vehicle also contains lead particles which are very injurious to health. Then industries. There are many industries which releases harmful gases directly in the atmosphere. So now there are checks, now there are chimneys which has fitted with electrostatic precipitators which can actually precipitate down the pollutant matter before discharging it into the air. Then you have got garbage and the brick kilns. Generally when we burn garbage contains many harmful particles. When you burn them, harmful gases are produced and released in the atmosphere. Similarly, there is something called brick kilns where brick is being made. In that case, they use clay to cover that particle and release smoke, but that smoke adds up to the air pollution, right? Then last you have the stone drillings and mining. Now stone drilling and mining, actually it's a work where you are actually cutting the stone in a very fine particles are being of that material which gets suspended in the air. At the same time, mining, maybe you have got coal and the particles of coal which and dust which gets into the lungs and causes many diseases. Asbestos is a major cause of problem in the lungs for the people who will work in the asbestos company or industries, right? Then you talk about smog. Smog is nothing but smoke plus fog. Fog is what? Suspended water particles in the air which reduces the visibility. At the same time is smoke. Smoke is what? Suspended ash and the dust particles in the air. So when this combines, it gives to a deadly combination which is called smog. Smog lowers the visibility and causes many kind of respiratory disorders. And now when you talk about the control, how can we control air pollution? First of all, the efficient engine should be used in the vehicles. Then you have good quality of fuels which gives out, it's a matlab we should use clean fuel rather than the fuel which adds up to the harmful gases in the atmosphere. We should use clean fuel, and the best option is CNG, shifting our vehicle from petrol to CNG, that is compressed natural gas, very important for abbreviation question. Is that clear? So this is all about air pollution, the sources, the control, the type, and maybe the effect, the ill effect on the health of a person. That is, you can write respiratory disorders, asthma, bronchitis, and many more. So let us move to the next, that is water pollution. Now next we talk about water pollution. Now before talking about water pollution, you should have a clear thing in your mind about waste. What is waste? Waste is something not needed by you. Right, it can be somebody waste is somebody's treasure, that is different, but waste means what? Any unwanted material which is produced because of some industries, agriculture, mining, your household. So anything unwanted produced from these all processes is called waste. So when you have to classify waste, there are two types: biodegradable waste and non-biodegradable waste. When I talk about biodegradable waste, this is a very important question, children. Pollution chapter is very important for your boards because it is your day-to-day issue. So you can have many questions related to pollution. This one chapter has around 10 to 12 marks that is asked in the board examination. Understood? So it has a very heavy weightage in your boards. So what is biodegradable? Do not write the waste which can be degraded. The waste which can be decomposed by the microorganisms into simple organic substances is called biodegradable waste. So any kitchen waste, the fallen leaves, the fruit peels can be considered as biodegradable waste. And non-biodegradable waste means which cannot be decomposed by microorganisms and it tends to stay in the environment, and that leads to pollution. Is that okay? So we have understood air pollution. Next is water pollution. The main source of water pollution is household detergents. Now you know that in chemistry we have already studied about hard water, soft water. You know that soap cannot give good lather with hard water, but detergents can. So we have solved one problem, that even the hard water can be used for washing purposes if we use detergents. But these detergents are non-biodegradable. It cannot be degraded naturally in the environment. So it keeps up adding in the environment and causing pollution, that is water pollution. Industrial waste. Industries release their effluents directly into the water, contaminating the water with harmful chemicals, harmful metals, harmful substances, harmful compounds which are injurious to the flora and the fauna of that water body, and it makes it unfit for the drinking purpose for the human beings too. Right. Then sewage. Sewage is what? Liquid waste from either your house or from the community. Like for small villages, if you see, they release their liquid waste directly in the nearby river and lake, and that contributes in water pollution. Then you have thermal pollution. Now in many industries we use water as a coolant, right? Water has a unique property of high specific heat capacity, so it is used as coolant. And because of this ability of water, this hot water, where it will go? So they directly release the hot water in the water body nearby. Now you know that when the temperature increases, the solubility of the gas in water decreases. So when you increase the temperature of the water body, the gas dissolved in the water body will get reduced. The oxygen dissolved will get reduced, the carbon dioxide dissolved will get reduced, respiration of the animals in the water will get affected, photosynthesis of plants in the water will get affected. So overall the biological oxygen demand of that water will increase. So thermal pollution, though it is not adding up harmful compounds to the water, but increasing the temperature of the water body is also problematic. Then you talk about oil spills. Oil is lighter than water, so it is going to float on water, cutting the supply of air, getting diffused in water. So what will happen? The quality of water will get reduced. At the same time, the birds, their wings gets, fixed because of these oil present, and they are unable to fly. So these oil spills are leading to a drastic decrease in the population of the aquatic birds. So oil spill is also a great problem that has added up to water pollution. Next is the soil pollution. Industries not only add up to the air pollution, to the water pollution, but also produce a huge amount of solid waste, which is either dumped somewhere in the landfill or is put into the soil. Now, this will contaminate the soil by adding up unwanted metals, unwanted metallic ashes into the soil, that will lead up to soil pollution. Urban and commercial waste, the solid waste from the urban areas and the commercial areas are also added up into the landfills. Now, landfills basically becomes a reservoir. What is landfill? Here the solid waste is dumped and a layer of soil is put over it, and slowly and steadily it goes on increasing. So, though it is made up of non-degradable substances, it continuously releases gases like methane and all. At the same time, when it rains, all the harmful substances can be washed from the landfills, go and contaminate the nearby water and the soil. So, this urban and commercial waste is also problematic. Then chemical fertilizers. Thus, what human beings are up to, they are up to very short term profit. They want the profit very fast. So, instead of using organic fertilizers, they go for chemical fertilizers, which will increase the yield in the initial years, but slowly and steadily will deplete the fertility of the soil. And finally, the soil, fertile land can be converted to a desert land, which will not be able to produce any kind of crops. Biomedical waste, the hospital waste, the used syringes, the blood, the unused blood, the discarded organs, where they land up? They land up into the soil, and if by any chance there is any contamination, microorganisms, it will be released in the environment to infect hundreds and hundreds, right? Then you have pesticides, excessive use of pesticides. The fruit, it enters into the fruit you consume, it enters in your body and finally leads to many health related issues because of the pesticides and the chemical fertilizers. Now, let us understand by what is biomagnification. Now, DDT is a pesticide which gets on accumulating from the water to the organism, correct? So, this is how this DDT concentration slowly and steadily increases in the food chain. So, pesticide not only impacts our health, but it starts getting accumulated in the food chain, and higher organism shows the higher concentration of the pesticide, which is injurious to health. Minamata disease is also an example of biomagnification of mercury. Now, let us quickly discuss about the radiation pollution. Now, radiation pollution basically is because of certain kind of rays or radiations that are emitted, and which may also go and create nuisance with your DNA. That is, these radiations can change the molecular structure of the DNA and can lead to mutations. Okay. Now, in radiation like X-rays, iodine 131, iodine 127 is normal, okay. Iodine 131, cobalt 60, these are all radioactive radiations which can impact the genetic constitution of an organism by changing the chromosomal structure, DNA structure, number of chromosomes, and create genetic variations and leads to mutations. Even cancers like thyroid cancer, iodine 131 can lead to thyroid cancer, bone cancer. So, cancer can also be an outcome of radiation pollution. Next is the noise pollution. Any unpleasant sound is noise, and being students, you are aware that how much noise is produced in a classroom. So, that impacts your nervous system. Okay. With the, what is noise? Basically, whatever sound which disturbs you, which irritates you, which creates uncomfortable feeling for you, right? That is called noise. Unpleasant sound is called noise. Now, this noise can interfere with the communication that happens, no, with the children and the teachers. Yes, it interferes with the communication. It interrupts the concentration and focus. Suppose a child tries to concentrate or focus, solve mathematics, and there is a talking in the room going on, or there is too much of noise around, the concentration gets disturbed. The efficiency of work gets reduced. Noise disturbs sleep. Then it damages, huge noise or big explosions can even damage eardrums. And prolonged exposure to noise can also lead to deafness. That is, a person loses his ability to hear. When we are studying, when we were studying about ear, you know that there are sensory cells present in the cochlea. When those cells are continuously excited because of the frequency and the sound and the ripples produced in those fluid, obviously those are going to start functioning less and finally stop functioning. So prolonged exposure to noise can lead to deafness, and obviously it also not only impacts human, it also impacts birds. Birds' life gets affected because of too much of noise, jetways, right? At the same time, even the mobile towers and all can affect the birds and the bees. So if they are affected, finally slowly and steadily it will come to us only, right? Now how can you stop or control this pollution? Now using of the blow horns that is there for the vehicles, that can be reduced to a simple one, a better one. Then sound, we should not create noise for others. Like we have a party and our music system is at the highest and the neighbors are getting disturbed. This can be avoided. Using mic systems in the public area should be avoided, right? At the same time, use of firecrackers and huge sound boxes can be reduced. We can plant trees to minimize the effect of the sound, right? So there are many ways in which we can control pollutions, not only noise pollution, all kind of pollution, right? This is all about pollution. What are the sources of pollution? How can you control pollution, and what are the effects of pollution, right? Next one is the plastic pollution. The biggest problem nowadays is the plastic pollution. When plastic came into existence, it was like a boon, but now it's a curse. How to get rid of it? Because even the first plastic which was there on earth is still on earth. So the best way is the 3 R's: reduce, reuse and recycle, and minimize the use of plastics. We use alternatives for the plastics. Instead of having a plastic bag, have a cloth bag which can be reused again and again. So slowly and steadily we cannot just get away from the plastic, but we can minimize the use of the plastic, right? After this, the impact of this pollution on earth, or what are the effects of these pollution? There are 3 major effects we are going to talk about. One is acid rain, one is global warming, and one is ozone depletion. So first one is acid rain. The pollutant gases like sulfur dioxide and oxides of nitrogen, they react with the rainwater to form acids like the sulfurous acid, the nitrous acid, the nitric acid. And when these acid falls on earth, it impacts the flora and the fauna of the earth. Not only the flora and the fauna, it also impacts the water body, aquatic body of our earth, right? It impacts the life of the fish because of the decrease in pH, because of addition of acid to the water bodies. At the same time, it also corrodes the building materials. Even our monuments and our archaeological structures, they also get spoiled because of the acid rain. Taj Mahal, the white shiny layer of Taj Mahal, the marble, is getting corroded because of the acid rain, and it is turning to be pale. That is the impact of acid rain. Now then, next one is global warming. Global warming, the gases responsible for the global warming, that is also called the greenhouse gases, is carbon dioxide and methane, and water vapor also. Now carbon dioxide and methane, what is greenhouse? Greenhouse is actually a glass chamber where we grow plants, because in that greenhouse the radiations can come in, but they cannot escape. So the overall temperature in the greenhouse is enough for the plants to grow. Now if that happens to the earth, the molecules of carbon dioxide and all, the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere is 0.03%. That much is more than enough to maintain a proper temperature on earth, right? Venus is the hottest planet. Though it is the second planet, it is the hottest planet in our solar system because it has an atmosphere of carbon dioxide. So overall temperature of Venus is very high as compared to Mercury, right? So this carbon dioxide and methane, they allow the radiations to come in, but do not allow it to escape. So overall the temperature of the earth increases. So this is called global warming greenhouse effect. Do not mix it with ozone depletion. Ozone depletion means ozone is a layer in the stratosphere, that is the atmosphere of our earth. If there is a hole in the ozone layer, the harmful UV radiations of the sun reaches the earth, which may lead to mutations, skin cancers and many other problems, right? So these are three different concepts: acid rain, global warming and ozone depletion. In case you have any doubt, please put it in the comment section. Now let us talk about organic farming. In organic farming, instead of using chemical fertilizers and all, we can use natural and man-made manures and fertilizers, which can not only increase the fertility of the soil but will not contaminate the soil, right? There are many ways in which we can prevent pollution: use of unleaded petrol, use of CNG, reduction of plastic, then garbage combustion, incinerators should be used, electrostatic precipitators can be used in the chimneys, and there are many more. The sewage from the industry should be treated first and then discharged. The water from the industries first should be cooled and then discharged into the water bodies, keeping a check that there is no harmful substance present in it, right? So we can control pollution, and it is now the need to control pollution. Talked about ozone depletion. On 16th September we celebrate the ozone day, right? Now next one, the most important one, is the Swachh Bharat. I think Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, since it has been launched in our country, we have a question in the question paper, right? When was it launched? It was launched on 2nd of October 2014, right? What is the main goal of Swachh Bharat Abhiyan? Swachh Bharat is clean India. We are not talking about green India, we are only talking about clean India. So clean India mein first keeping your streets, neighborhood clean, and the most important aspect of Swachh Bharat was the provision of toilet has to be provided in all the villages and all the rural areas of the country, right? So we have to make India open defecation free, ODF, very important, ODF, open defecation free India. So whenever this question is asked for 2 marks, right? So one will be to clean the streets surrounding a neighborhood, and the second one will be to remove the open defecation from our country. So provision should be made for making toilets, whether it is personal toilets, community toilets. Nobody is going to defecate in an open environment, right? Because it is a cause of many diseases and problems related to our health. Now next we talk about the Euro Bharat vehicular emissions. Now in this, certain norms are laid down under the Euro Bharat scheme, where you have to take the control of releases from the vehicles, okay. So this is all about the entire chapter. I hope you understood the concept. There are few important definitions and full forms that you must know. In important definitions: biodegradable waste, non-biodegradable waste, what is waste, what is biomedical waste. The definition of these 4 should be very thorough. Full forms of CNG, compressed natural gas, DDT, dichloro-diphenyl trichloroethane, ODF, open defecation free, CFCs, chlorofluorocarbon, and UVB, ultraviolet B radiations. So now these are very important for your exam point of view. Link for the PYQ is given in the descriptions. Kindly go through the same. Any doubt, children, put it in the comment section. Now next, what we are going to have the test series. I will be uploading 2 to 3 question papers in the morning time every day on the channel, and the answer will be uploaded by night or the next day. So you are going to solve the paper and check your answers with the answer sheet. That is all for the entire session of biology ICSE for the board examination 2026, that is on 13th of March. Happy learning, all the best, study well. In case of any query, put it in the comment section. I will be there to help. Thank you so much. Happy learning, children.